Well, you know what, though? I broke down the science of that, John. And
Of the lasers or the doorway?
The doorway. So the reason that stormtrooper hits his head, because they saw into that door, and when the door lifts, it doesn't go all the way up. So that stormtrooper was thinking all business and used to the doors going all the way up, but it malfunctioned because they didn't open it correctly. So
the visor isn't very good.
Yeah, so he just, I think every single time he's ever walked through a door in the Death Star, he's never had to worry about that. But just
he's
this
just
one,
very cavalier and doesn't pay attention.
So he's just thinking, I gotta save, the Death Star, and then he whamps his head because it doesn't open all the way.
So it was Drax inside of that suit, and he's just like, I was thinking of something else.
Yeah, exactly, Drax. I was thinking of something else. I don't know, that's my theory, John. He hit his head because of the malfunctioning door.
I'll take that. I'll accept it.
Hey, I'm dropping some totally fictional facts right now on you.
He's thinking of what he can do to impress Lord Vader.
Yeah.
It sounds legit.
Part of me hopes that Vader watched that thing on a loop later on and just made fun of the stormtrooper. Like, they saved that footage before the Death Star blew up. And now it's a GIF in that world. All right, hey, you want to answer this question from Gina from Fort Lauderdale?
Okay, now Gina dropped a bomb on us. She basically dropped like a 5-part question here. Okay. So yeah, Gina from Fort Lauderdale. By the way, I was in Africa with her last year.
Nice.
So Gina asks, what machinery do you hope is nearby when you have to summon their Manitou to defeat a demon?
Okay, so for me, I would want it to be an espresso machine.
So it would burn him?
And I could have coffee while the battle happens.
Okay.
For me, battling a Manitou is exhausting. So I want it to be pulling its weight, using its coffee spirit. Also, it's energized too because of all the coffee. And then I'm just drinking coffee while watching it. That's what I want.
You don't think you're going to spill your coffee and burn yourself when you're dodging those meteors from the Light Devil?
No, because I had been watching Toady Curtis dance and drink beer from earlier.
So you're drinking it out of a snifter.
I have a pinky up. And I'm moving, and he's terrible aim with the asteroid, so I just gotta sit right next to it. I don't have to duck, dip, dodge at all.
Dip,
whip. So I know this sounds really weird.
We were going for duck and weave there.
Yeah, a duck weave. I don't have to do any of that. I'm just drinking coffee, watching it while I'm dancing too. But that's because I like dancing. And the disco light show is on. If there was a radio / coffee maker, that's what I'd pick. What about you, John?
I want 4. I want Bumblebee. I want the good T-800 Arnold Schwarzenegger. I want Johnny 5, and I want Wally, because all 4 of those robots already have heart.
Oh wow! So you went really practical. I just went because I wanted to drink coffee.
Well, at first I was actually, because me, my mind is like horror. At first I'm like, oh, we'll get the Mangler and the Mortal Engines machines in the Event Horizon. That'll kick the crap out of it. I'm like, wait, they already have evil in them. I don't know how that'll turn out.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you don't want evil more. That would suck if you're fighting the Manitou and the Event Horizon.
Pretty much. Well, and the Event Horizon is purportedly already possessed by his, fluctuating gaslight devil. So, that creates I don't know, when you summon the machine, does it have to sign a conflict of interest form in this fight? It's I'll fight the Manitou, but I can't fight the devil because I'm possessed by the devil. Oh, because he does summon the devil. So it'd be like the devil versus the devil. Right, that's the devil's machine, but the machine has a Manitou.
Well, I want this. I want to see paperwork being signed before a Manitou battle.
This is going to be as complicated as Rodney King arguing before the Buster Douglas fight.
Well, if you think about this, during this movie, there's a famous line, "Don't be an administrator."
That's right. No matter what, never be an administrator.
So we're thinking about this right now. And that could happen in this movie. Megan, did you think of any appliances?
Appliances, jeez. Could I just take the Infinity Gauntlet and snap him out of existence forever?
Would that take everyone else out?
Yeah.
But don't you only have a 50-50 shot?
Oh, yeah.
But this isn't my world.
What if it took out the Chief and Tony Curtis?
According to Mark, movies like this exist in an alternate dimension, so I don't care.
Yeah, so Megan knows it's going to work.
That's fair.
Either that or you'd have to come up with something. I came up with an invention that would work. It's just not real. It would be something that you'd blast at it, it would scatter its particles completely without killing it, and then you'd trap it in some sort of device, and then it couldn't be reborn because it never died.
A giant shop vac. And
it goes to the containment unit in Ghostbusters.
And it just sucks.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it just sucks up the
But
Manitou.
it would keep it in stasis so it doesn't die and it can't be reborn stronger.
So I would do a coffee machine and one of the plasma packs or whatever they're called from Ghostbusters.
Oh, the proton packs, yeah.
I would take a proton pack, one of those things that trap it, and coffee.
Okay, so
I'm
continuing...
trying to neutralize the problem.
Meg's trying to neutralize.
I'm not trying to kill it and let it come back again.
That's true. There's value to that.
That makes a good point.
So when the chief basically says, like, oh no, it's Manitou lives on, like, shouldn't he have sounded more nervous?
The whole tagline for the movie is, evil does not die, it waits to be reborn.
Oh, sorry, I jumped on you. So, I guess it's been 400 years since the last one, right?
I don't know if it was 400 years since the last incarnation or 400 years since the first record of Spumacus, the Medicine Man.
Oh. Yeah, I like Megan's plan. Let's just trap it. Let's just put it in a giant Magneto cage where he can't...
Because if it was 400 years since the first record of this Medicine Man, which would have been his first incarnation, then like basically every 50 to 80 years, he pops up again.
Oh, so then John Singing Rock, he won't have to deal with it, so he doesn't care.
Yeah, like his dad might have dealt with the last incarnation.
Ooh.
That's the prequel. It's one of those prequels that looks like a remake. It's basically the same. It's just like, this is Chief Singing Rock Sr.
Oh, it's like the Thing prequel.
Right.
I kind of want to go on Goodreads now and just look at the synopsis for all of the following books.
Look at the synopsis for the second one. All right, John, you want to read the second question?
All right. So her second part, it's all Tony Curtis stuff. So how did Curtis get involved with this? And when she asked this, she meant the actor with respect to the movie. And then maybe it's because no one could give that demon a stern talking to like Tony Curtis could. And on that note, what would have happened if Karen, for whatever reason, wasn't around when Curtis gave that demon shaman a stern talking to?
Oh, so if he said, I'm doing this for love, and then she wasn't there to hear that.
Right. Well, would all the computers just have zapped the Manitou, or would they have given her power to someone else and she would have had to come over, but in that time maybe the building and Tony Curtis get zapped by the Manitou and the devil?
Would the computers have heard it?
Well, maybe.
So then the computers are like, hey, Karen didn't hear it. So, but we're going to help her out because Tony's lecturing the Manitou.
Like, but what if they carted her off somehow safely?
Oh, just got her out of there.
I'm confused.
Yeah, like what if she wasn't literally there?
So, what if she wasn't there? And
Who is she?
Karen, who had the bubble burst out of her back. So she's not there to do the electric light show on the Manitou, and it's just Tony Curtis or Harry. His name's Harry, but I call him Tony Curtis.
Given that stern talking to, like what would happen?
I think the computers would.
Maybe it would go into him.
Yeah, the computers would go into him, and then he would laser light show the Manitou.
And as for how Tony Curtis got involved with this in the first place, I think he was just drunk and wandered onto the set, and then they just went with it. Because that makes total sense for his behavior in the first scene when we meet him, dancing around. They're like, Tony, we'll give you another beer. If you do this scene, at the end of the scene, you just get a beer out of that fridge, and we're just going to keep rolling.
There's a PA offset with a chalice of beer, just going, Tony. Tony's like, I'm going to do every line in one take. I'm only going to work 3 hours a day, and I'm only on set for 15 days. And I get free beer. Do
you think it took that long?
I would say the shooting schedule. I researched the crap out of these things. I couldn't find anything, but I would say this was due to all the special effects and sets, this is probably 25 days, 30 days. I mean, right, Burgess Meredith, that was really fast. They shot that in a day.
There was so much information in that.
You know what? I'm going to say 20 days, John. I'm saying 20 days, 4 weeks. 4 weeks it took to shoot this, 1 month.
Final part of Gina's multi-part extravaganza is, this is more of a statement. Okay, we're going to react to this. This is more of a statement or conjecture, but I really did see elements of a lot of my favorite movies and shows in this. It's like a mix between The Twilight Zone and Alien with an appropriate amount of camp and Burgess Meredith.
I love in the scene when they're at Burgess Meredith's place and they go upstairs and there's just the heaviest amount of spider webs I've ever seen in my life.
See, he says, I don't go up there much. I've been very busy. It's like, have you been busy for the entirety of your 80-year life?
Yeah, he has not been there for over a year to have that thick of a spider web.
I think it's been a century.
That
is like going through Castle Dracula's forgotten spare bedroom closet.
Oh, remember on Dracula Dead and Loving It when the guy gets stuck in the spider's web, isn't it? Or the dust? And he gets wrapped up in it. The rosemary. So yeah, he had not been up there for a year. I love that moment. And I just love everything that he just dropped on people. And then it turned out to be a lot of wrong, kind of. I mean, he sent him to the medicine man, but he also said that he wouldn't accept payment.
I like how that they're explaining everything to Dr. Snow, and at first he goes, that's not real.
Yeah.
They made that stuff up. It was based on myths and fairy tales. And then they go, no, it's real. And they explain it. He's like, well, you got a big problem. Yeah, I mean, that's his entire reaction.
You do have one hell of a problem. He gives some
disclaimer. He's kind of like, well, hypothetically, or, well, if this was real, he gives like 89 like caveats throughout the course of all this. Like
pure ethnic occult art. Monstrous power. Amazingly strong. Watch out for the spider webs. I loved it. This is 2 years after Rocky, too. So he was on a high in this movie. He probably got free beer for his date of shooting.
I'll bet that it was his idea to be clenching a book to his breast when he opened the door for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think...
Like, I'm just in the middle of some academic readings, but yes, please, come in.
I don't think 29-year-old William Girdler had any control over Tony Curtis or Burgess Meredith.
I don't think anybody at that time in their lives did.
Yeah. Tony Curtis just showed up on set.
They were like what I hear Bruce Willis is now. They're just going to do their thing their way, and you're going to go with it, or you're going to have a problem.
I think that all started for Bruce Willis on Cop Out when he worked with Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Because
I think we should do it this way.
Yeah. Well, I read these books, and they were going for some shots, and Kevin Smith's like, yeah, set up the camera with that lens. And then Bruce Willis is like, wait, what lens do you think about doing on this? And Kevin Smith's like, I don't know what lenses are. And Bruce Willis just yelled at Kevin Smith about, how do you not know what lenses are? What do you mean? How many movies have you directed? So I thought that was a pretty funny...
I just say I'm not the director of photography.
Yeah, that's right. But, no, I don't know, John. So final thoughts about this movie?
This movie is preposterous, and it is a mainstream theatrical with B-movie-ness. And if you like B-movies, and if you want to see something of the likes that you really haven't seen, you should see this. And it's not because of some weird gross special effect. There's not really a lot of that. It's just, it aims high. And despite playing from the Exorcist playbook, it feels like nothing I've seen before. And that's nice to say, having seen as much stuff as we have.
That makes sense. It is like nothing. I never thought I'd see a disco space battle with asteroids and disco lights flying at a naked Manitou. So, yeah, I mean, it gets a recommendation in my book. What about you, Megan?
I mean, this definitely makes the case for in Kevin Bacon movie with the dancing, Footloose.
Footloose.
Why they think music and dancing and disco is so evil. This is the root of it.
This is the root of it?
But jokes aside, if you plan to watch this movie, I would definitely wait for the Blu-ray release. Don't watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, watch the Blu-ray so you can see everything. And you know, John says you can see everything, so pause it.
I mean, yeah.
Are you going to buy the Blu-ray, John?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll buy it right away, but honestly, I'll probably have to either wait at least a year to watch this again, or I got to find some people who would be excited to see it with some beer. And by the way, my recommendation to watch this, it's not like, oh, you're a fan of horror, watch this alone on a Friday, which I will do. If you're really adventurous, do that. But if you're not super adventurous and cavalier in your choices, have a friend around and have a couple beers, because this is probably more fun to share with someone and giggle about it as you watch it.
Probably share it with people who like these kind of things.
Host your own Bad Movie Tuesday.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We used to do Bad Movie Tuesdays. This would be perfect for a Bad Movie Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, this is John. Any shout outs before we head out?
Well, just Big thanks to Gina. By the way, Gina was actually watching this movie when she came up with these questions while she was curating insects at Broward College's collection. And you'd think she'd get in trouble, but her boss is a good friend of mine. And he said, I watched her watch that movie as she pinned and labeled insects.